Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Casting an Actor's Perspective. As always, my name is still Jon Snow, and we're going to dive right in. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about over-preparation. It's a big one, and it's a scary one, because what does that mean, right? Because you want to come in as an actor and you want to be prepared. You want to be as off-book as possible. You want to know all the words in the scene as much as possible. You want to know the emotional tone of the scene, of the show that you're auditioning for, or the movie, or the work of the person who's written the movie or is directing the movie. You want to know all those things. You want to do all of that homework. But there is a point at which you can over-prepare. And when you do that, they can smell the polish on you from a mile away. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I've heard directors in particular say, "Oh man, somebody worked that scene with them to fucking death." And it's true. Because if you over-prepare, if you over-rehearse, if you're so stuck in the way that you see the scene, in the way that you're going to do the scene, then you've left no room for collaboration. We're in a collaborative business. So we've got to make sure that we keep that open and keep ourselves and our channel of creativity open so that we can still take in other things. You absolutely want to come in prepared. You absolutely want to come in and say, "Hey, this is my gift. This is what I bring to you today. I hope that you enjoy it." And at the same time, you have to hold space for them to be able to say, "Hey, that's pretty cool, but what if we did this instead? And what if instead of those values that you just gave us, what if you instilled these values in this scene and in this character and you tried to go from that place? Let's just see what would happen." If you're so over-prepared, if you've rehearsed it to death, you're going to tend to go down that groove. This goes back to the earlier video that I did where we talked about your first beat, forget the rest, and having genuine discovery. You've got to make space for this. And if you're so prepared, if you're over-rehearsed, you may not be able to get there. Now look, I'm not telling you that you have an excuse to come in and not know your lines and to sort of be all over the place and be disheveled or not present yourself well, or I'm not even trying to tell you not to get a coach and be coached on the scenes. If those things help you, abso-fucking-lutely. Go for it. Do what you need to do for you. Only you know what the process is for you that works, that gets you to the right frame of mind, that puts you in your body, that makes you be as present as possible. You're the only one that can define that for yourself. But along with that, make sure that you're not setting it up so that you've taken up all the space and there's no room left for anybody else's input, because we are in a collaborative business. This particular bit of advice becomes especially evident when I'm talking to you about director and producer sessions. Casting director sessions are a little bit more loose. Typically, they kind of know what they want, but they don't really know what they want. Every once in a while, they have very specific details. We need this, and this actor has to check 5 fucking boxes on this thing, and if they don't check all 5, we're not interested. It happens like that too. So don't get me wrong on that. But what I'm saying to you is find the things that you need, use them to get yourself where you need to be. Just make sure that you're leaving room for play. And that's the important word. This is why we got into this business, right? We get to play, we get to act, we get to make things up, we get to pretend, we get to live in a space of what if all the time. And it's really beautiful as long as we let it be beautiful. So again, tap into whatever that is for you. Find that channel of creativity that allows for others to come into that sandbox with you and play with you so that they can have a good time just as much as you're having a good time. Because nobody likes to come and try to come into your sandbox and for you to say, "Okay, but these are the rules and you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to do this way." That's no fun. You want to invite people in that can play in the space with you, and people want to know and trust that they can sit there and play with you in that same space so you guys can find something brand new together. So, do what you need to do. Prepare yourself. Do your actor homework. Be a good actor. Do all those things. Just don't rehearse it to the point where you can't see anything else but the way that you've interpreted the scene. And as you move up, you get called back. You go to a producer session, a director session, you're in a network studio test, all those things, it becomes extremely important, that sense of play. You've got to hold on to it, and you've got to make room for other people. All right? All right, well, that's it for this episode. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about something that seems maybe even silly, but it's so important because I've seen so many actors fall into the trap. And that trap is they're really, really trying to be interesting. All right? I'll see you next week.